there is a guy named Tagbo. Tagbo is a very brilliant boy. He's currently searching for ways to migrate to Canada, and his major resource is YouTube. So Tagbo goes on YouTube to find new information, and every time he searches, he finds something interesting. And he goes ahead to drop a like and a comment saying, "Oh, this was such good information." But guess what? Tagbo never does anything with that information. Don't be like Tagbo, my friend. When you get information, implement it. Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Ania Lohan here. Today we're talking about scholarships in Canada particularly. As someone who has been a recipient of a fully funded scholarship in Canada, I think it's only wise that I continue to champion people on that course and help people find that route and find that information, so in case they choose to go that path. And so I have decided to start a series called Navigating Canadian Scholarships. I will talk to you like you have never thought of applying for scholarship before. You do not know jack about it, neither do you know where to even start. I will start from the nitty-gritty and then up until how to apply, when to apply, where to apply, and hopefully when you get it. It's going to be a series of a couple of videos. I think you would really find it useful. If you think this is something that you would want to see, so I don't get in my head and make videos that you're not interested in. If you think it's something that you want to see, just let me know by hitting the like button now. If you hit the like button, that's my sign of, okay, yes, and there are 20 people or there are 30 people or 50 people who are interested, and that will really help me put my all into it. If I don't get a good number of feedback, I may not bother because time is money, right? So let me know if it's something that you want, and I promise you I will go all in. Just hit the like button to give me that information. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the types of scholarships that we have in Canada. There are several types, and for those different types of scholarship, there are different requirements. There are different eligibility criteria. So I'm going to talk to you about those scholarships, talk about the eligibility criteria, and I will share a few examples with you. And then lastly, I will tell you 5 things that you need to know, or 5 things you need to start doing or start preparing to allow you to be ready to apply for any scholarship and any opportunity that comes your way. Okay, so hit that like button now and let's get into the business of the day. So government-funded scholarships are scholarships that a particular province or the Canadian government is giving to invite international students into a particular location or into a particular course. So if Canada is looking to train more doctors within a year or 2 years, they can bring out a particular scholarship and say, okay, we are going to give the scholarship to every PhD student or every doctoral student or every master's student who wants to study this course. So there are government funded scholarships, and a very typical example is the Vanier Canada Graduate Scholarships, which offers about 50,000 Canadian dollars per year for up to 3 years. So the scholarship is majorly aimed at doctoral students or PhD students in fields like health, research, natural sciences, engineering, social sciences. So if you are considering a PhD, this type may work for you. Don't worry, we'll get into the scholarship itself as we move on. But there are several kinds of government-funded scholarship, and you just need to check to see if they match, if they suit, or if you match the criteria. Okay, there's also one that's called the Canada-ASEAN or the SEED scholarship, which is mostly for short-term studies, so like a master program or a thesis-based program or a research-based program. And you need to understand that every category has its different criteria. That is why it's important that you know, so that you are not applying to one type of scholarship and you're putting in the wrong information, or you're putting information that does not exactly fit into that sphere. Okay, the second kind of scholarship that we know is the university-specific scholarship. So university-specific scholarships are the scholarships you get when you apply to a certain university. So for example, I got the scholarship from the University of Saskatchewan. Now, if you are applying to a particular school, when you apply for admission and you are granted, they evaluate you based off certain criteria: your academic prowess, your leadership skill, your volunteer history, and all of the things that you have in your portfolio to determine if you are a great fit for that scholarship. So there are some like the University of Toronto McGill University, the University of British Columbia, which UBC has a lot of scholarships that I would really delve into as we go. And there's the University of Saskatchewan. I know there's also one in the University of Manitoba. So there are university-based scholarships. You only get those scholarships if you school with them. Okay, another example is the University of Toronto. So they have the Lester B. Pearson International Scholarship, which is highly competitive, by the way. It covers tuition, it covers books, it covers incidental fees, full resident support for 4 years. It's actually targeted at students who are academically exceptional. Okay, now it's a good time to say that not all scholarships are about academic performance, even though most are. There are some scholarships that want to see other parts of your portfolio, other parts of your personality, in terms of leadership, in terms of what you have, your volunteer, in terms of your field, your career path. Okay, so don't say because I don't have this certain grade, I know that this scholarship thing is not for me. No. Okay, we would get into that stage where we talk about scholarships that are for people who do not have like the best grades. For this type of scholarships, you have to apply to the school directly, apply for admission, get admission, and then start to talk to the school, talk to the admissions committee about getting possible scholarships. Specific scholarships, some of them are also based on course. Not all of them are. There are some scholarships within that school that everybody gets, but there are some scholarships within that school that you only get if you are doing certain courses. Typical example is the University of Saskatchewan. They give certain scholarships to certain people based on their courses. They have scholarships that they give to everybody. They also have scholarships that they give added if you are doing a particular course. The next is the subject-specific scholarship. Subject-specific scholarships are the scholarships that you can get because you choose a certain course, regardless of the school. Especially now that Canada has a lot of shortage in engineering and in the medical phase, there is a very high chance that people who are coming to school to do construction, to do mechanical engineering, to do electrical engineering, they will have lots of scholarships. So in my time, I was coming to do international finance, and I was doing it on a master level a couple of years back. So at that time, business has not become so dominant as it is now. So at that time, if you do a finance course, a course that involves computing, a course that involves coding, that involves trading, your chances of getting a scholarship was high because there were not so many people doing it, and you are doing it on a master level, which even makes it harder. And not just any kind of masters, a thesis-based masters. So all of those little details was what made it possible or easy for me to get that full scholarship. So I'm saying that the course that you are coming for is also a big requirement for qualifying for a subject-specific scholarship. This kind of scholarships are dedicated to students in specific fields, like subject-specific scholarships. They're designed to encourage students in certain high-demand areas like science, engineering, healthcare, science, technology, engineering, arts, STEM courses, basically construction. So those areas where Canada needs students the most are the places where we will find more subject-specific scholarship. A typical one is the Canada Engineering Memorial Foundation Scholarship. So this scholarship you get if you are coming to do engineering, regardless of the school. You can apply to it and then be lucky if you get it. There's also the Canada Arts Council Scholarship. So if you are studying something like music, literature, and fine arts, you can fit into this category. Okay, so another good thing to know is that when you're looking for a subject-based scholarship or a subject-specific scholarship, you need to look for the courses or the areas where Canada has those shortages and then try to apply to those places, because that ups your chances of getting that scholarship. There's another one called the Honorable Mentions Private or External Scholarships. So these are scholarships that are donated like charity by foundations, non-governmental organizations, notable individuals, honorable individuals in the environment, businesses that are well-to-do, just people who are giving back to the society in form of scholarships. Now, these people could do this in form of subject based. So okay, if I'm an engineering business, I want to give people who are studying engineering, who want to study engineering, certain scholarship. It could be something that is about nature, so anybody who's coming to study climate changes or geography. It could be something about children, so anybody who's coming to do early childhood, childcare, autism control, speech therapists, all of those courses. Those NGOs or those foundations, depending on what their motto, what their policy is, will be able to support and fund people to study those courses, because one way or the other, it improves what they stand for as a firm or as a team or as a company or as a people. Okay, so you can also look to that area. Say for example, you are passionate about pets, you are passionate about animals, you can look for programs that fund people You can look for companies, big veterinary companies or pet companies that fund people to school in Canada just to study veterinary medicine, for example, okay, or animal care. All right, so those are ways to pitch yourself or to position yourself so you're not just applying to scholarships blindly. So an example is the Pierre Elliott Trudeau Foundation scholarship, which focuses on social sciences and humanities. The MITAX Global Link Research Award, which is focused on research-based funding. There's also another one, I think, is the Edwards Scholarship, which is focused more on courses or on research. So if you are doing any kind of research masters or a thesis-based masters, you would be eligible for that kind of scholarship. Another one is the country-specific scholarship. So country-specific scholarship are targeted at students from particular countries or regions. These country-specific scholarships aim to strengthen international relations and promote cultural exchange. I've also seen scholarships from universities that would say, okay, we want to grant people in from the Middle East Africa, from people from Middle East Africa, we want to grant them scholarships. People from Asia, people from certain locations are able to apply for scholarships, particularly because the country or the owners of that funding just want to encourage students from that environment to come. And I have seen a lot that tries to encourage Africans, so that's also something you can pitch, looking for African friendly scholarships. Okay, those are the types of scholarships that exist. And so I'm going to tell you lastly, like I mentioned, what you need to do to prepare yourself to get started. The first thing I need you to do is to start to gather your documents. First will be your transcripts. If you don't have your transcripts, you are still way behind. By now, you should have your transcripts ready with yourself, like you have a copy with yourself, because some schools will say they want it directly from your school. So first of all, have it generated, have a copy with yourself. And so anytime the school wants it or a particular school wants it, you can reach out to your school to send it. If you haven't even gotten it generated, you haven't done the process of getting the transcript itself, it will take you longer. Okay, so it's best you start as soon as possible. Get your transcripts ready. If possible, get a hard copy with you, get a soft copy with you, while also processing the one with the school. The next thing you need to do is start gathering all your certifications, all your portfolios, so all your volunteer certificates, all the things you did, all the leadership roles that you took. Start having hard copy to prove them. Have hard copies to prove them. Some people will even require pictures of the times where you led volunteer teams, or you went to certain places, you did something extraordinary, or reports or publications talking about those works that you did. It is important that you start pulling all of those things together. That would be like your portfolio. Okay, I would go into it in depthly as we move on this series, but you need to start gathering the things you would put on your resume. You need to start building your resume. Your resume is what will show your school. If you are doing a graduate course, have you worked, your volunteer opportunities, the things you've done for your community. Just start putting that together. I have a video on my channel. I talked about how to write the perfect resume to match the Canadian standard. So please use that method and that format to draft your CV. The next thing you need to do is start preparing to write your statement of purpose. This is where you will tell a very heartfelt, inspiring, and motivating story as to why you should be given a chance. I have a video also where I talked about how to write your statement of purpose like a pro. Please do well to check that video out. It will help you break down everything you need to know as far as writing statements of purpose is concerned. Start to look for a course that is in demand in Canada, and at the same time it has a small number of people going into it. So those are the things that will up your chances of even getting the scholarship in the first place. So try your best to start looking for courses that you would do. Don't just think, oh, I want to do project management, or I want to do. No, look for a course that is in demand, that you like, and that has very limited people studying it. Then keep that aside. Okay, so start researching the need to have. And then I'll lastly advise you to start gathering your recommendations. So you know how you are going into engineering, you want to be speaking to your professor, or your engineering professor, or your physics professor, or your physics teacher if you're in secondary school. Just make sure that you are getting those people warmed up to write a very sweet attestation for you, speaking to how great your character is, how intelligent you are, and how much of a leader you are. Okay, start having those people write them down so that when you need them, it is available. Depending on the course that you are going for, get people to start writing recommendations for you, because people are busy, and the earlier you tell them, the more they're able to get into it. So the earlier you start, the better for you. It's not when the school asks for it, you will now look for somebody to just write one chapter chances for you. Okay, as we move on in this series, I would share a lot. I hope that you want it and you're hitting that like button to let me know. I would be looking forward to that. I will be watching the numbers carefully to see how many people are asking for it. Okay. Thank you for watching my video. I will be waiting for you in this video where I talked about how to write a statement of purpose if you are a beginner in writing. Okay. I'll be waiting for you right there. Mwah.